Yeah. Jordan, get into the thing a little bit.
Come on, scoot in.
And relies. I don't say anything weird.
So, John Wald with Primary Residential Mortgage. We got sitting above everybody apparently. We got Quincy and Jordan Bird here. So I guess introduce you guys.
Hello, everybody.
So Jordan's with Brick Kickers Home Inspections, and we're going to ask him a few questions about the whole home inspection process. So I guess, why do we need a home inspection, Jordan, from the, point of view of an agent or a home buyer?
As far as a home buyer is concerned, obviously you want to be able to go into a purchase knowing what's wrong with the property. And, that's obviously what we're there for. We're there to inspect major systems of the house, anything structural, mechanical. We're not there to look for, nicks and dings in the drywall from a previous owner, but we're there to minimize, what you're going to deal with when you move into a house, so that when you do move in after the process, you're not coming out of pocket to make any major repairs. We're there obviously depending on the size of the house for a couple hours, 3-4 hours, depending. And inspecting every major system in the house so that we can report on that.
Cool. And I think from the agent's point of view, it gives my buyer a chance to negotiate any major repairs, to get as close as to finished product in the house before they move in. So take the information Jordan gives us and negotiate those repairs that we talked about before, and move forward.
I guess what's the difference between a good and bad inspector? I guess we'll take Quincy's.
Yeah. I think a good inspector takes their time. I think a good inspector is somewhat empathetic to the buyer, so they're not like an alarmist. They're not somebody who, their job is not to point out every, style mistake or, error that's made. Their job is to basically say, give the buyer a cursory tour of their house, give them an explanation of how the systems work, point out any possible defects, any major flaws that they see, and kind of give them a roadmap of what they could expect while owning the house, especially in those first few years. I think that's what makes a good home inspector. I think a bad home inspector is one that, their home inspectors are just lazy. I think that's a bad home inspector. Ones that won't take the time to explain things, ones that don't receive questions well. I think those are bad home inspectors.
So I guess, Jordan, what determines the cost of a home inspection?
I think, there's hundreds and hundreds of home inspectors in the state of Maryland. And each inspector, has their own way of determining how much their inspections are going to cost. I think the most commonly used is by square footage of the home. So we take the square footage home, we do taxable square footage. So basements are not included, and then we give a price based off of that. So structural mechanical, a standard inspection, let's say it's $375 for a 1,500 square foot home, and then of course any additional services that you want to put on to the inspection. We do radon testing, thermal imaging, well and septic testing, things like that.
So what's typically included is just making sure all the systems are working, the outlets are working.
Right. So, the state of Maryland, we're licensed inspectors. It's a licensed profession, so we have a continuing education and then a licensing exam that we go through. We're following a standard of practice that has been set forth by an agency. So whether it be American Society of Home Inspectors or International INTRNACHI, inspectors following that standard of practice to allow them to be able to conduct an inspection in the right way. We follow ASHI and INTRNACHI standards. So we're there to look at major structural. We report by room when we do our inspections. We're going through the rooms and checking windows and doors and outlets, and we get to the basement, we're checking plumbing and electric panels, removing panel covers, checking heat and air conditioning, things like that. But then when we release our reports, we release by system. So that way it's a lot easier for a client to be able to look at their inspection report and say, hey, these are all the electrical problems, these are all the plumbing problems. And then obviously those problems are annotated where in the home they are.
Cool. And then I guess, Quincy, in a perspective of a real estate agent, should you always get a home inspection?
I I think 99.9% of the time you should always get a home inspection. I don't know, you can overrule me this. I think, look, if you're buying a clear investment property and you are an investor, you're a contractor, maybe that's not the time to do a home inspection. But if this is your house you're going to live in, or it's your second home, or you're going to put somebody in this house to live in, you should have a home inspection. If you are going to negotiate repairs at some point, even if it's from an as-is point of view, you should have a home inspection. Because as an agent, I can't, even if it's just for that sole purpose, besides like the education factor of it, I can't negotiate those repairs without that home inspection. I can't take my cursory look and be like, well, I want you to fix the roof because I said it needs to be. Nobody cares about my opinion. So
right,
licensed individual, and I think I was a couple weeks ago pulling like NAR statistics for closed sales in 2015. It was something like in the high 80s as far as percentile wise of home inspections done per closed transaction. So it's definitely, people are definitely having that.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I would say, easily 99% of my transactions on the buyer side have home inspections.
Right,
Yeah. And it's just the most experienced investors that are obviously either like full guts
right.
or are already just shells that they're not doing a home inspection. There's almost nothing to inspect.
Right.
Yeah, so.
I guess, so real quick, because we're about 6 minutes in, so what do you expect, during and after the home inspection? You kind of covered what you expect during, but like, do the clients get presented a report? Do you review the report with them? Do you review the report with them? Like, what happens for the client's perspective?
Yeah, so, at the beginning of the inspection, obviously we're there to, set expectations about the inspection. So that's, I think, one of the most important things. We complete the inspection, and, different inspectors do different things. We go over our inspections at the end of the inspection. A lot of times we'll check in with the clients during the inspection, especially if there's something that we find that they should definitely know about, or something that maybe we want to stress the importance of. The whole entire experience is a learning experience. It's about educating the client. It's not about going through and saying, oh my gosh, look at this, or oh wow, look at that. It's about taking them aside and letting them understand what the real issues are. So that's that part. And at the end of the inspection, we release our reports on site now. We changed our software so that we're completing the inspection at the end of the inspection time, and then we release the report immediately to the client. So I think, as far as, from the beginning of the inspection, setting expectations to going over everything at the end, so that way when they leave the inspection, hopefully they don't have any questions, but obviously if they do, that we're there to answer them after post-inspection.
Cool. I guess, Quincy, last question is, how does the home inspection impact the real estate transaction or the contract?
So I think immediately it should have almost a comforting effect on the buyer. They should feel better, either better or worse in a good way about what they're about to buy. So either better, like they're getting a decent product, they can feel better about moving forward, or comfort the fact that there's a huge issue and they might walk away knowing that they just avoided a disaster. On the transaction part, it basically establishes a set list of repairs that are needed on the house, what the buyer is going to ask the seller for, and the effect it has is it sets up another round of negotiations between the agents on what the buyer wants and what the seller is willing to do in repairs. Yeah. And I mean, to break it down in those basic terms, the transaction may or not move forward depending on what could be worked out there.
Yeah, so you basically have three options. Once you did the home inspection, accept the property in the current condition, walk away from the property, right?
Not exactly, but basically, yeah.
If it's not happy,
right? Yeah.
Or negotiate money off or repairs to be made.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
All right. Well, again, John Wald with Primary Residential. We invited Jordan Bird, the Brick Kickers.
Let's bring Mark in here for a second. We'll announce Mark.
There you go.
Here, swap the seat out. Here, sit down.
Okay.
Tell people who you are, Mark.
My name is Mark Cashin. I'm a new agent with Cummings. She started working with Quincy. And I'm going to be handling mostly buyers for the first couple transactions. And so working with John and Jordan here in a little bit.
Great. Well, thank you. I guess you always do the like the page.
Sure. Yeah. So like the page so you can get notifications so you know when we actually do this stuff since it's somewhat random time. And then look for the audio to come up tomorrow.
Perfect.
That's it.
All right.
See you. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
All right.